Welcome to the inside track on one of the most talked about power players in American politics. She's young, bold, and just might be the most influential voice in the White House right now. From a small-town ice cream shop to a billion-dollar lifestyle and a seat at the center of global decisions, this is the untold, unfiltered story of Karoline Leavitt. How did she rise so fast? What's fueling her empire? And what's really going on behind the scenes of her high-profile life? Let's pull back the curtain and dive deep into the billionaire world of Karoline Leavitt. 1. From ice cream stands to the White House. Karoline Leavitt's journey began in Atkinson, New Hampshire, where she was born on August 24, 1997. Raised in a Catholic household, her family owned a local ice cream shop and a used truck dealership. Growing up in a working-class environment shaped her grit early. Summers were spent scooping cones behind the counter, learning the value of hard work, customer service, and hustle. Her parents instilled in her a deep sense of responsibility and faith, which would later become central to her public image. Even as a teenager, she had an eye on something bigger. Her classmates remember her as ambitious, outspoken, and deeply political. By the time she reached college at St. Anselm, she was already plotting her path to D.C. She majored in communications and political science and got her foot in the door with a White House internship during the Trump administration. What followed was a rapid climb few could have predicted, straight from a New Hampshire classroom to the nerve center of American power. It was clear, Karoline wasn't here to play small. 2. Early career and political ascent. Karoline didn't waste time making a name for herself. After her White House internship, she secured a spot as an assistant press secretary under Kayleigh McEnany during President Donald Trump's first term. At just 22, she was behind the podium, shaping national narratives and managing some of the most intense media storms of the presidency. The role sharpened her instincts and gave her a crash course in high-stakes political communications. But Leavitt wasn't content staying behind the scenes. She returned to New Hampshire and joined the staff of Representative Elise Stefanik, one of the rising stars of the Republican Party. Her work there only fueled her ambition further. By 2022, she was launching her own congressional bid, vying to represent New Hampshire's 1st District. At just 25, she aimed to become one of the youngest women ever elected to Congress. Her campaign was unapologetically conservative, pro-Trump, pro-police, anti-establishment. She knew her audience and played to it with precision. 3. Congressional run and political strategy. Karoline Leavitt's 2022 congressional campaign was more than a race, it was a statement. She ran with fire, leaning into culture war issues, promising to drain the swamp, and branding herself as the unapologetic voice of America's next conservative wave. Her youth became a weapon. Critics called her inexperienced, supporters saw her as fearless. She hammered home her message across town halls, conservative radio, and viral social clips. The old guard was out, and she was the future. She built a movement around authenticity. No polished political gloss, no middle-of-the-road messaging. She spoke like someone who had nothing to lose and everything to prove. Her campaign leaned heavily on digital strategy, memes, direct engagement, and video content that resonated with younger conservatives and frustrated independents. It wasn't just a race for Congress, it was a case study in how Gen Z could crash the political system. 4. Return to the White House. After proving her mettle on the campaign trail, Karoline Leavitt didn't have to wait long before getting the call that would change everything. In early 2023, Donald Trump tapped her to serve as National Press Secretary for his 2024 re-election campaign. It was a high-risk, high-reward job, and Karoline dove in headfirst. She became the face and voice of the campaign, going toe-to-toe with mainstream media, battling narratives, and energizing the base. Her ability to speak with clarity, aggression, and conviction made her a favorite among Trump loyalists. She wasn't just echoing talking points, she was shaping them. She crafted sharp, viral messages that played well across social platforms, often racking up millions of views within hours. Her rise wasn't just political, it was cultural. She was becoming an icon for a new generation of conservatives who valued confrontation over compromise. 5. Financial growth and investments. With national visibility came serious money. Karoline Leavitt was no longer just a political figure, she was a brand. And brands generate capital. While her official salary as White House press secretary sat in the low six figures, her off-the-record earnings dwarfed that. She negotiated lucrative consulting deals, became a regular on the conservative speaking circuit, and signed a seven-figure book deal that promised an unfiltered look at her rapid rise. But Karoline didn't just earn, she invested. Backed by private advisors and political allies with deep pockets, she began quietly acquiring assets. First came stock portfolios curated around sectors she knew intimately: media, energy, and defense. Then came real estate. With a keen eye for markets and timing, she expanded from a modest condo in DC to properties in Florida, New Hampshire, and even a ranch-style estate outside Dallas. Each purchase was strategic, each property another layer in her financial foundation. From press briefings to private jets, Karoline Leavitt's life is anything but ordinary. But behind the headlines and high heels is a calculated strategy, a relentless drive, and a story still unfolding. If you found this glimpse into her billionaire world fascinating, hit that like button, drop your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe. We're just getting started. Until next time, stay sharp, stay curious.